The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it's Andy Fletcher from Convertri here. I'm kicking off a couple of minutes early just to do the obligatory tech check. So if you can hear me, would you be so kind as to stick something in the chat box? If you're a bit shy, just hit the 1 key. If you're more talkative like I am, please tell me who you are, tell me where you're from. If nothing else, say something just so I know you can hear me, please. Hey Jeff, how you doing today, mate? Hey Paul from Cleveland, how are you? Hey Coach Gusty, how's it going today? Marshall from Wilmington, hi, how's it? How are you? How are you? Darius from Hamburg, how's it going? Excellent. Well, okay, you guys can obviously hear me. So now round 2, we're going to do the screen check. So you should be able to see the Convertri editor now. Say yes, stick a 2 in the chat box. Do something so I know you can see it. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are awesome. Cool. The weather is absolutely terrible here in the UK, as I'm sure you've seen on the news. We've had like about an inch of snow, and that means our country grinds to a halt because we only get snow about once every 3 years, and our country is just not equipped for it. The trains stop working, all the public transport stops working. Everyone like stays at home and is like, "Oh, we can't do this. We can't do this. We can't possibly go out in such Arctic conditions." And everyone in every other country that gets actual snow laughs their asses off at us. But it's what we do. It's what we do. Oh, so just give it a couple of minutes, wait for the hour to kick off, and then I'll redo an intro just for the recording, and we'll kick off. Thank you all so much for coming out today. It is absolutely awesome. Every weekend when we do these, I get super excited because it's kind of cool that you guys. Jeff says we laughed at an inch, tried 4 feet. Yeah, that sounds about right. I have some mates. I have mates in lots of countries, being a child of the internet, and they all just mock me constantly when I tell them that our country grinds to a halt over this stuff. Saskatchewan, Canada, excellent. 12 inches of snow in the next 3 days. Yeah, that's yeah. We wouldn't cope with that. You would never hear from England again if we had that. Hey, Peter from Minneapolis, how you doing? Cool, right, that's 3 p.m. here, 10 a.m. In the States, so let's kick off. Hey everyone, it's Andy Fletcher from Convertri here. Thank you so much for coming out today to this dynamic text demonstration webinar. The demonstration we've got today is actually quite a quick one. Dynamic text is one of those super powerful features that you can do so much cool stuff with. That takes about 5 minutes to show you how it works. We love features like that around here. So we'll be doing a nice chilled out session today. I will do the usual demonstration where I will hide the chat box so I don't get distracted. Those of you that have been on a webinar with me before know that I do have shiny object syndrome and I can't help myself. If I can see the chat box, I will answer every single question, and that 5-minute demo will end up running on for the entire hour, and at least one person in the chat will threaten to kill me, and justifiably so. So I will hide the chat box when I'm presenting, but it's only 5 minutes. We will go through dynamic text. I will show you how cool it is, and then after that we'll do the usual Q&A. So if you've got any questions, please just save them till after I've done the presentation bit, because I won't be answering stuff in the chat box at that point. But after that, I will hang around for as long as you guys like. It's a nice chilled out Saturday afternoon for me, so anything you want to know, I'm happy to talk about it. Right, with that in mind, let's have a look at dynamic text. So before we kick off, I should note that dynamic text is a pro or agency only feature. It cost us a small fortune to build, and it's one of those that costs a fair bit to maintain. So I'm afraid this one was pro and agency only. However, it is worth the price of the upgrade on its own, especially if you do advertising via, for example, Google AdWords, because it lets you change the text on your page dynamically based on what the person has searched for or based on some keyword that's in the URL. So a picture being worth 1,000 words, let me show you how this works. So we're going to have some text here, welcome to London, and we're going to make London nice and big so you can see this working. And so on, and usual demonstration, I will publish it here so you can follow along at home. So I've published this to https andy.convertri.com/dynamic. Oh, whoops, excuse me, that's I might have screwed this up when I was setting up the demo just now, so we made it, let me create one from scratch rather than messing around with this. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, so welcome to London. London we make nice and big. There we go. And dynamic text. So publish this. So if you'd like to follow along at home, I will stick this into the public chat box. There we go. You should be able to send to all. So if you'd like to open that in your browser, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm demonstrating as well. As always, Convertri pages, as soon as you publish them, they are live on the internet, so anyone can see them. So you guys can go to that URL and have a look as well as watching my screen. Now, to make this dynamic text, instead of it saying welcome to London, what we want to imagine is that we want to say welcome to, and then it's the name of any place. So when we're running our Google adverts, let's say we're the tourist board for a whole bunch of different cities, or I'm using places because it's easy to relate to, but you could change this dynamic text to be anything you wanted. So in this case, we're going to make the word London dynamic. So we click on here, we add a new parameter. I'm going to call it location. And now, when we republish this, simple as that. That's all it takes. So you'll see London is highlighted. It won't actually appear this way. That highlight is, we've tried to use a color that you couldn't possibly want to use on your page, so you know where the dynamic text is. So that highlight won't actually be there. So again, when we come back to this page, do a force refresh, you'll see it's still welcome to London. However, now if I put location equals at the end, I can do location equals Paris. And the demo's going wrong today. Have I typoed something? There we go, sorry. I think the publishing is going a bit wrong on me today. It's probably because I'm trying to stream at the same time. It's not updating quick enough. Apologies for that, guys. Anyway, so the point is we can now type location equals Paris, or it doesn't have to be a capital. It could be location equals England. It could be location equals dog if we want. The point is, so Convertri doesn't know what these words are. All it knows is that something has gone into location equals at the top, and then we've assigned it as a parameter, just to show you again here. So because it's URL parameter location here, and it's turned on, that takes this value from the URL and puts it onto the page. Now, for example, Google AdWords will let you take the search term that they search for and pass it into your page. So you could, most people use like keywords or KW. And then so the page that the person lands on can include the term that they have just searched for. So that makes it super congruent with the experience. So if they're searching for like holidays in Germany, for example, you can have your page say superb offers for holidays in Germany, and it will say those words because that's what they've just searched for without you having to create a page for each one. That's really all there is to dynamic text. I told you it was going to be a pretty quick demo. So, any questions? Yep, that's right, Peter. So basically, any string value you want to put in, so any lump of text. So in here we have in our text bar, you're entering some text. So this is the name. That's what appears like on the left-hand side of the equals. And then what appears on the right-hand side of the equals, that's any lump of text, and that comes in via, as I say, Google AdWords is the best use case for this. Oh, sorry, Brian's saying there's no sound. I presume the rest of you guys can hear me okay? Cool. Okay, sorry, everyone else is saying they can hear me, and I'll apologise to Brian, even though he probably can't hear me if he if he's saying there's no sound. Sorry for the interruption, guys. So they can't come from the customer's location. We are working on like GeoIP stuff as well, but that's separate to dynamic text. This is the keywords that appear on the page, or the text that appears on the page, I should say, has to come in via something typed into the URL. So you can just create a bunch of URLs yourself and like put them out there. Or you, as I say, the common use case is a service like AdWords, which will put the keywords that were searched for into the URL for you. Yeah, certainly. Let's a couple of people asking for additional examples. So let's do. I'll use the same page, but let's say you're doing like product reviews, for example, and you're targeting a whole bunch of e-commerce keywords. So it's you sell some physical product, and there's a whole bunch of different ways people refer to it. You don't want to make a page on your site for every single one of those keywords, but regardless of which one they search for, you want your page to say the words that your customer is speaking. So let's say some people call it a thingamy, some people call it a widget. For example, I've got to make this. I was like shower heads, and he says, some people searching for like shower heads, some people searching for like shower hoses, some people like shower spray. Like there's lots of different words. It's all the same page, but they want that greeting to match what they were just looking for to make it more congruent. Hey, Roy. Yep, we always record these, so barring a tech screw up, this will be recorded, and the replay is usually up within a couple of days. I do the conversion on my computer basically as soon as the webinar's over, and then hand it off to the team on Monday. It usually goes up sort of Tuesday if I've done one of these over the weekend. So if you do miss today, if you get on late, if you get cut off, whatever, don't worry about it. The whole point of these is we make them all available on help.convertri.com. Cool. Told you it was a quick demo today. So any other questions on dynamic text, or any other questions about Convertri in general? Please feel free to talk about anything you want, or marketing in general as well. Happy to talk about whatever you guys want today. Cool. Yeah. Somebody mentioning the upcoming ecom functionality and the new UI I should mention as well. So the new UI we're working on at the moment, and hopefully that won't take too long, because that's it will certainly make Convertri a bit easier to use. It'll look a load nicer, but there won't be much in the first pass that it lets you do that you can't do already. So while it'll look sexy, it's not quite as exciting as our usual updates, and it takes a chunk of time. Like we have to rebuild quite a few things to make it work. But hopefully that won't take too much longer. And then we're moving on to our ecom functionality, which will include things like product variants, which is probably one of the most requested things. Coupons. We're going to do a special modal lightbox checkout. So one of the biggest complaints everyone has about Convertri at the moment is, while having the flexibility of the editor with the form fields when you're creating an opt-in, it's just super cool. Everyone loves it. That kind of flexibility is amazing. Building a checkout form is just tedious. And we provide templates, but you have to mess with them a bit to get the style you want. And loads of people have said they would happily trade off that flexibility in the checkout flow in exchange for it not taking as long to wire up. So we're going to, everything you've got at the moment will continue to work exactly the same way, but we're going to have a sort of on-rails checkout flow that you can control the styling of up to a point, but it won't be the same completely freeform, but you'll be able to get it up and running in about 5 minutes. So you'll still, the checkout page, you'll still have complete control over. You'll be able to put your bump offers on there, product variants with radio buttons, control all the text and images, whatever you want. Then you'll have a checkout button. When they hit the checkout button, up pops the JavaScript powered modal lightbox. And then from there, that flow, we will have it as on rails as possible. You can change like the colors, probably a header image, that kind of level. But from there, we will take it over for you and make it as quick and simple to get that checkout up and running as we possibly can. Hey, Darius is asking how many dynamic text variables. So there's absolutely no limits to the numbers you can use. The only limits are sort of more ones of sanity that you've got to, like, you have to wire each one up. Each one will be in the address bar. So the more you have, the more complex it is. But there's no limit in Convertri that we impose. Hey, Benoit, going to cover assessments later on. So I'm not sure what you mean by assessments. Can I ask how to change the color of a box image as you hover the mouse over? Yeah, certainly. So let's do it with a panel for today's demo. So we've got simple. So drag it on, then in background, you can see on mouse over. You can set a different color here. So when you move the mouse over, that background color will change. What that won't do is an image swap at the moment. So it'll change background colors, stuff like that, but it won't swap images around. It's unlikely we'll have an API integration with Kartra because they're pretty much a direct competitor for us. It's sort of, they have some bits we don't. We have a lot of stuff they don't. There's probably not much value in an integration there, but we'll certainly look at it. We'll take a view when they finally release the thing. They've been promising it for quite a while and keep pushing the launch back. I believe it's set for this month, so hopefully they get it out the door and we can see what's going on and see if there is something. Can I build buy funnels using dynamic text variables keywords? I'm not sure what you mean by a buy funnel using the dynamic text. Sorry, can you clarify a bit for me, Darius? Maybe, I think I might be being a bit slow today. Sorry, guys. Hey, Perry, if you'd like to upgrade from standard, ping us a quick email to support@convertri.com and we'll hook you up with a special deal on the upgrade for showing up today. I think we might be running an offer on Tuesday. I'll have to check with Neil. But yeah, but ping us an email to support@convertri.com. And since you were cool enough to come on this webinar, we'll make sure you get a sweet deal. Assessment feature. Apologies, Bill. I don't write the emails. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that feature is. If you could dig out the email and paste me some context, I'll happily have a look. Yeah. Okay. So Charlie, that's a great question. So Charlie's asking, can you have a checkbox for accepting terms and conditions before continuing? So you can already put a checkbox, form elements checkbox here. And then under element properties, we can say that it's required, and then they won't be able to continue unless they check the box. This is another one of those things that we would quite like to make more on Rails as part of this lightbox pop-up, because that's quite a lot of steps just to get a checkbox on the page that they can put a tick in. We would quite like to have a step in that checkout flow where you can put your terms of service and they have to accept it, and that's optional. You don't have to include it. But again, if you want to go through the complete design, you can do it all from scratch. But we would quite like you to be able to do these things just that much quicker, and we know we can deliver that. Sure. So George is asking for other use cases. So basically, what we're doing is anything that you want the same page for multiple things. So you could set up. This is a really quick way to set up local business campaigns. So you could have a page where it's like best plumber in, and then you're bidding on location-based plumber keywords, or best electrician in, cheapest electrician in. So when you're bidding on AdWords for people searching for these things, you can create a single page and then target the location to, or target those keywords to every single one of the ads without having to build a page for each one. And then that's a really quick way to set up a local business campaign. Then when you go to, plumbers, electricians, locksmiths, anyone like that in your area, you can say to them, look at this fantastic thing. We will bid on AdWords. It's nice and cheap to do. We basically, when somebody searches for exactly what you do in your area, they will come through to this page, and you can see it automatically updates. So it's saying, best plumber in and your location, merely because that's the place they were searching for. Oh, I see. So that's assessment is the name of one of the templates we released, Ben, Benoit, from the way it's phrased. So if you're in Pro, that's the name. That's the name. Whoever names our templates came up with to name that one. That's not a new feature. That's just what we called one. Apologies for any confusion there. So yeah, a couple of people saying they're pretty excited about the upcoming ecom stuff. I have to say I am as well. We were, when we surveyed the list, like about a month ago now, we were really surprised how many people were already trying to do ecom stuff, like already trying to sell physical products. We thought we had a majority of sort of digital product owners. We didn't realize quite how many people were doing physical stuff, where you care about things like shipping and handling, you care about taxes, you care about like physical fulfillment. You've actually got to get a thing from where you are to where they are, whether it's via a fulfillment center or so on. So we're looking forward to integrating things like fulfillment by Amazon. We're looking at ShipStation. These should be pretty cool integrations that just make life a lot easier if that's the thing you're doing. We're also hoping to work with a bunch of print-on-demand companies, because that's just such a good model. We've done a bit of that in the past ourselves, and it's such a cool way to get your stuff out there. Cool, yeah. Please do, Emma. And as I say, like if you're cool enough to come to this webinar today, by all means, ping support@convertri.com, and we'll hook you up with a special deal on the pro subscription. Cool. So what else are you guys working on? What are you using Convertri for? What would you like to know about today? Yeah, certainly, Jeff. So Jeff's asking, what's a bump sale? Okay, so a bump sale is getting them to add something to the cart before they check out. So the example we always talk about in the office, which is a bit contrived, but stick with me. Imagine somebody sells t-shirts, and so it's $20 for a t-shirt, and then they sell a matching cap on the checkout page. So whatever the logo is, whatever the branding is, whatever their thing that is to get you to buy the t-shirt, they've also added that to a cap. So page one is, look at this amazing t-shirt, don't you want it? Click the buy button, you go through to the checkout page, and on the checkout page, there's a ticky box that says, why don't you add a matching cap for an extra $10? Check this box. And then they check the box, that's the bump sell. And by doing so, they're not just getting the t-shirt, they're also getting the cap as well. And the distinction here is, unlike a cart like Amazon, for example, where they do the same thing, where they're like, why don't you buy these other things? We like your money. In their case, it doesn't matter. Like, you could have bought product A or product B and they'd be offering you the other one. In the case of our software with a funnel, there's always a base product. There's always, like, the thing you're trying to sell them. In my example just now, the thing you're trying to sell them is a t-shirt, and they're either buying the t-shirt or they're not. But if they want the cap, it's a matching cap. It goes with the t-shirt. So you're either buying the t-shirt or the t-shirt and the cap. That you're never selling the cap on its own. Or if you are, it's in a completely different funnel. And that's what a bump sale is. As distinguished from what we talk about as an upsell, where getting them to buy something else happens after you've done a checkout for their initial purchase. So we could sell the cap as an upsell as well. So it's, look at this amazing t-shirt, isn't it fantastic? Checkout page for the t-shirt, they buy the t-shirt, that you've got their money for that t-shirt, and then on the next page it's like, why don't you buy the matching cap? It's only $10. That second one's an upsell, the first one is a bump sale. Hey, Charlie's asking about payment processes. Yeah, definitely. So we definitely want to get PayPal and Braintree integrated as part of the ecom push. They will. I'm going to use the word definitely, but anyone that's known me, like, been on the Convertri journey with me, knows I try and avoid that word because, like, it just bites us, all right? But as far as I'm concerned, like, it will definitely be integrated into the on Rails flow. We will do our best to integrate it into the, like, completely freeform, do what you like option. But since so many people have been saying they would like to use the more on Rails flow, we're definitely starting there for the payment processor integrations because it just seems like a better option and what people want. Hey, Peter. So Peter's asking, he says, I do a live webinar each week, only subscribers can attend. Can I put a demo webinar behind a secure page of some kind? Can I vet if they're a currently paid up subscriber? So that's not something we support. You can sell them the initial access through us, and then we'll publish the details. Either you can download the order details, you can connect it to something via a webhook, but the actual, like, the back office part of it, making sure that the right people see it, you need third-party software for. So if it was just videos in a membership site, for example, you could use something like Product Dino. In terms of making it so only people who are paid up members can come to the webinar, about the best I can offer you is that you could add them all, like, when they purchase, you add their details to an autoresponder, and then you mail that list with the details from there. But that wouldn't stop them giving the link to someone else to also attend using their link. But that's not the kind of thing we worry about, certainly. You may care more than we do. Next question. Have you rebuilt all the old templates, even the ones in standard? Not yet. We're working on it. So as part of, hopefully, the UI release in the next few weeks, we want to, we'll probably keep the old templates in the app, because why not? They're there. Like, they do work, but they're 2 years old, they're dated, they're just not as cool. Our design team have learned so much in 2 years about, like, what converts well, what looks good. So we want to redo, like, at least the base set of templates, so those built-in funnels just look so much better. The guy who's working on that's about halfway through it, and that will probably be released along with the new UI. New integrations. Can Convertri integrate with popular German autoresponder? What's that? ClickTip and webinar app, Webinaries. So I've never heard of either of them. which I'm going to be honest means the chances of an integration are quite low. However, if you please do send an email to support@convertri.com with the names of the apps, because we basically keep a scoreboard. We use Asana for it. Basically, we keep a scoreboard, and like every time we get a request for an integration, we add a point to its score, and so we can see like what demand there is for each one. As I say, I've certainly never heard of those. I'm pretty sure you're going to be the first one to request them, which means they're probably like quite low down the queue. But we do work through the integrations quite quickly. So you never know. And if you know other Convertri users who use it, please get them to email in as well, because that will get it handled. That will get it taken care of quicker. Because we do this based on like helping as many people as possible. Yeah, good, very good point, Charlie. Okay, so Charlie says, how does the bump sale work in terms of an order total? So the answer is not great at the moment. This is one of the things we want to fix in the ecom updates we're going to do, even though it's not like we're fixing it as part of the ecom functionality, but this applies to digital products just as much. So at the moment, when you can only really have static text. There's no like checkout amount. So when they toggle the button to say like add the bump sell or not, there's no number on the page that goes up and down based on the box being checked, which makes for a bit more of a confusing workflow. So we want to take care of that. That will be an on-page element, so you can have the current cart total dynamically updated on the page. It'll work very similarly to dynamic text, but instead of the info coming from the address bar, obviously it will come from the cart. I say cart, like the pricing details attached to the page. Hey, Mike. Sorry, Mike says, when is the dynamic cart which updates orders before checkout coming? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what part you're referring to. Can you clarify a bit for me, please? I'm happy to answer. I'm just not quite sure which bit you mean. Hey, Gabrielle. Gabrielle says it would be great if you could automatically deliver ebooks and reports through Convertri. Without it, it's not automated. So if it's just off an opt-in, the easiest way to do it is to attach the ebook, put it available anywhere like Amazon S3 or any hosting company going, and have a link to it sent out in the first email of your autoresponder. That's like the whole point of giving these things away is to get people on mailing lists anyway. So you can just make the first email have the details of that download. The second option, if you've got a more like complicated members area where you want to give them multiple things, or you want to like, especially if it's video content and you want to secure it, and most importantly, if you want to sell access, then we highly recommend Product Dino for protecting the membership content to deliver that side of it. Oh, excellent. I'm glad I answered it before, Mike. Fantastic. Then just while I see a couple of people typing, so just at the moment, one of the other things we're working on, if you're in the EU, is our GDPR support. So I rambled at length on the last webinar about this. I won't talk for too long, but it should be it's very important as of May. Like it is a requirement for anyone selling in the EU or even just like acquiring leads in the EU. So everything will be completely GDPR compliant by then. The main thing that we're going to do for you guys is there's going to be basically app.convertri.com/mydata. That doesn't exist at the moment, but that's what we're building. And on there, basically anyone can go put their email address into a box, and they'll be sent a magic link that will then tell them all of the data that we have about that email address and how it's being used. So, for example, let's say that person has opted in or bought something through a Convertri page, and thus the details of them are in Convertri. When they go through that flow, secured against their email, so we don't just give out anyone's details to anyone. When they go through that flow, we will tell them like, this company acquired their details via this page on this date, and then it will provide the right to have that info deleted, which is like the mainstay of GDPR, is that ability to say, I don't actually want that company to have my data anymore. Please take it away. So we will be fully compliant with that in the not too distant future, certainly well before May. First of all, Mike, it's Andy here, not Neil, but that's by the by. We recommend Product Dino, but both Product Dino and Everlesson are excellent products. The only reason we prefer Product Dino, I say the only reason, there's a couple of reasons to prefer them. Product Dino has integrated our webhooks, so if you make sales via the Convertri cart, it's pretty easy to get memberships created on Product Dino automatically, whereas Everlesson haven't done that. And they are working on it at the moment, but they haven't done that yet. The other one is Product Dino have a cool feature where you can basically put your Convertri pages into your membership site. So you can use the power of Convertri to lay out your pages exactly how you want them and still use the Product Dino membership protection system, which is obviously super appealing if you're kind of a control freak and want more detailed control. We've got no plans to go multilingual with Convertri at the moment, Darius. We are, certainly as of right now, we're English language only. The majority of our customer base are US, and those that aren't US are just so disproportionately in English-speaking countries. And I mean, obviously that's true because we haven't done multi-language. It's a very chicken and egg thing. But certainly we've got a few thousand members at the moment. We could have tens of thousands just from the English-speaking world. So going multilingual isn't a high priority for us. No worries, Mike. I'm just giving you a hard time. Trust me, you'd know if it was Neil on the call. Neil and I have completely opposite presentation styles. Neil is a far better, more polished, more eloquent presenter than I am. He has to prep for about 4 years for every presentation. I am completely incapable of presenting, and I just wing it and show up and say things. So he takes care of official presentations. I take care of question and answer sessions and just general hangouts like this. Hey, Ella says she's from Croatia, but she loves Convertri. I'm super glad to hear that. That's very cool. I can tell you again, while people are typing, I can tell you another exciting thing that's going on at Convertri Towers at the moment. Next week we're interviewing for a head of marketing to join our company. We've got four in-person interviews. This will be the first person we've actually hired. I'm going to call them a real person. Obviously, all our staff are real, but somebody I've actually met in person rather than hired from Upwork or a similar channel. So that they should be joining our top team, as it were, which should be quite exciting. If you want to check out the pro version, Benoit, as I ping an email to support@convertri.com to make sure you get the best deal going. Then basically pretty much everything we sell, I think everything we sell. Me, I hate absolutes. But anyway, this certainly comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you upgrade to pro and you're like, I didn't really want that, just ping us an email. We'll give you money back. Consider it basically like a 30-day trial. And if you want to keep it, you've paid for the 30 days. But if you don't, we don't want your money. Hey, David. David's asking about integration info between Convertri and Product Dino. So there should be on help.convertri.com. Integrating Product Dino for product delivery. And I will stick that in a reply. I'll do a send to all. There we go. Most, pretty much everything of that kind. Help.convertri.com. Like I'm happy to help you find the articles, but if you're the kind of person that just likes to go hunting for yourselves, that's the place to go. No worries. You're welcome, David. So yeah, it should be quite exciting. We've got we're actually venturing out into the real world, as I'm sure most of you know by now, but I'll tell you for the benefit of those that don't. Convertri is an entirely distributed team. There's, I think, 18 of us now, and we're spread all over the world. Most of the people have never even met each other. Neil and myself are in London. Then we've got developers in Poland and Russia. Design is in Italy and the Philippines. Support is US, South Africa, and the Philippines. That's how we like try and get replies out as quickly as possible. Project management in the US. I'm probably doing a disservice and forgetting people. Anyway, the point is we're spread all over the world, so it's quite exciting to me to be doing like in-person interviews. We've rented some space in a local shared office. We're actually going to meet 4 real-life human beings. And although we're not going to get office space and see them on a regular basis if we hire them, the actual hiring process will be a real life thing. So that's pretty exciting to me. Yep, absolutely. This will be recorded. It's being recorded right now. This will go out. I convert the recordings after this, and then they'll be published Monday, Tuesday sort of time. Then we stick the details in the group. We stick the details, and anyway, we email about it and everything else. But if you come to help.convertri.com, there is a Q&A webinars section, and all of the ones we've run are available here. Come check them out. See what we've been up to. Watch the past ones. You can see me making a fool of myself live on air multiple times. It's awesome. Nothing like the modern world for capturing every mistake you ever make doing a presentation. Oh, thanks, Vernon. That's fantastic. Vernon says he doesn't use Convertri to its full extent yet, but he thinks we rock. That's very kind of you to say so. Thank you very much. I'm not going to lie, I never get tired of hearing that. My business partner Neil and I have been sweating blood into Convertri for over 2 years now. We really do live, eat, sleep, and breathe this all day, every day. I hardly take. Hell, you see me post in the groups when I'm taking a weekend off, for goodness sake. So it's always nice to know that those efforts are appreciated. Robert says my mistakes are getting better and better. I like to believe they are. Another way of looking at it, as the company's growing, my mistakes are costing me more and more money every time, but that's a whole different story. Page views are a page view, so if the same person refreshes the page, that counts as multiple views. One thing I want to do in the future is, but basically get some of the things we measure against a bit closer to what you guys care about, rather than sort of. Sorry, let me put this another way. So there's the things that cost us money, and there's the things that you guys care about, and they're not always the same things. And page views versus unique people that have seen my pages is a really good example. Every time somebody looks at one of your Convertri pages, that costs me money. But if the same person looks at the same page 5 times, that's not 5 times as much value to you, even though it's 5 times as much cost to me. And so in the early days when we set up the page view statistics, we did it in quite a naive way, and it was set up as it's the cost is in the page view, so let's charge per page view, or not that we charge per page view, but that's one of the things we measure, that's one of the things we show. But in reality, you guys care a lot more about how many people have seen my pages, not how many times were those pages viewed. And we want to start moving those metrics more towards the value you guys get rather than just sort of the naive cost model that we started with. Hey, right, yeah, I think we get at least one email to support a week to say. Sorry, Roy said, "I'm very impressed that you're possibly the first vendor that differentiates your emails between promos and training and updates. Thank you so much." Yeah, we just like. Don't get me wrong. 5 years ago, I was quite a naive vendor, like just getting started out, selling a load of WordPress plugins, and one of the ways we like forced, in inverted commas, people to see the promos was we mixed the update emails in with the promos, and that felt like marketing to us. But that was sort of like the early days. I didn't really know what I was doing. Now, like as a company, we're far more about like, if you don't want to see our marketing promos, I don't want you to have to read our marketing promos. Like, that now the people that read, we call it the propaganda like department, for goodness sake. It's we call it that, so we make it really clear what you're going to get. So we do our absolute best to only recommend the coolest, like best software out there. But if you still don't want to hear from us about that, like, why on earth would we email you about it? Like, it's just kind of that migration from cheesy tactics to like, let's actually give a shit about people. And I don't know, it certainly makes my days better. Sorry, what happens with the metadata from images after uploading images into Convertri? Do I lose the information after converting the site to Convertri? What metadata are you referring to, Darius? The answer is probably yes, it's lost, but I should check what you're referring to before I say that specifically. And while you answer that, George just asked a very cool question. So George asks, what's Convertri's long-term aspirations in regards to competing with products like ClickFunnels and Lead Pages? So ClickFunnels is probably the interesting one to talk about. Lead Pages, like they don't really have much to offer anymore. Like they were amazing 5 years ago. They're huge because of it, but there's one or two features like lead digits that they offer, which is honestly, I bet you less than 2% of their users use it. There's just so much more in Convertri than Lead Pages, and we're kind of price comparable. So there's just not a lot of reason to go to Lead Pages rather than us. They claim to have fast loading pages, but their pages were fast by like 5 years ago standards, whereas ours are fast for like today's standards. And that's quite a big difference. ClickFunnels, on the other hand, obviously far more directly relevant competitor, where they have modules that we don't. We're far more focused on the ones we have working really, really well and easily. The consistent thing we see with people that come across from ClickFunnels are that our pages load so much faster, and the pages are so much more reliable, and the app is so much more reliable. Like, barring the one like some minor demo snafu I had right at the beginning of today, like Convertri, it's not bug free. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that, but it's just a lot more reliable. I know yesterday, for example, ClickFunnels were down for a decent chunk of the day, and it's becoming less and less acceptable. So we're committed to maintaining like the page speed delivery, the stability of the infrastructure, rather than delivering like a lot of those fringe modules that not a lot of the user base uses. For example, ClickFunnels has a membership system that hardly any of their customers use. They integrate with third-party stuff. So while it's nice in theory that you have more under one roof, hardly anyone's using it. So I'd rather just say from day one, like, we're integrating with all these other cool solutions, and we're going to take care of this chunk. That's not to say we're never going to touch membership stuff, but it just feels so much further off. Cool. Yeah, please feel free to, Darius. If you're paying support at convertri.com, certainly someone will, it probably won't be me replying, but you will definitely get an answer. And it'll probably make more sense than I will on this slightly slow Saturday afternoon. Yeah, definitely. So Peter's asking about using Convertri with Facebook bot scripts and so on. So the best use we've seen from our customer base. Like, sorry, I try and avoid specifics. Like, I don't want to talk about like this customer does exactly this because you guys don't want your secrets given to them and vice versa. But like the guys who are using Convertri with Facebook like chatbots and so on, like it's very simply a case of like having those. Convertri makes it so fast to build lots of pages that you can build pages that your chatbot sends people out to just so quickly. So when for every question that the person could ask or whatever else, you've got a specific page that you can send them out to. You can get your offer pages built there, and even if they're on their mobile device, like talking to your bot, it will just load really quickly on that device when they click through. And the other advantage being it will be a mobile specific version, not just a responsive version. So lots of pros with that. I don't want to say integration because it's just putting a link in there, but there's a lot of value. Speaking of mobile, that's another thing we've got coming up. We're redoing the mobile editor, as you've probably seen in the emails. 2 years ago when we first started, quite a lot of devices were only like 320 pixels wide, and if they were bigger, it was only like 360. So we had this like small amount of guttering on a handful of devices, and nobody really cared that much. Now our mobile stuff looks a bit dated. If you're designing at 320 and then displaying it on like the biggest screen resolutions for some Android devices, like it displays, obviously it's got more pixels, but the like pixel resolution stuff renders at is 480 pixels wide. So that's 50% bigger than the version that we stick in and is then gutted. Like that's the white space down the left and right. And it's just becoming naff. And we don't like naff at Convertri, we like awesome. So we're upgrading the editor, the Convertri mobile editor will work at 480 pixels wide, and then we'll automatically scale it down to the resolution on the device. So we think it's unlikely anyone's going to make a mobile device bigger than 480 anytime soon. And then it will be automatically scaled down. So it will look exactly the same. It will just be scaled down to be smaller on smaller devices. So it should do away with that guttering you see on bigger phones. And that's almost done. We were hoping to get it out on Tuesday, but we found some bugs going into the weekend. So probably be Tuesday after. That's quite an exciting update. Cool. We've got another 10 minutes or so, guys. Please feel free to keep the questions coming. Darius says, what's in your opinion the best method to recommend Convertri via Facebook? So two parts. First of all, if you want an affiliate link, you can get one in the app pretty easily. So if you come up to affiliate program, top right here, that has all the links going through to JVZoo, which we're currently using. So you can get links to recommend us. Then from there, I mean, if you want to be a sophisticated affiliate, like set up review pages, like start running paid ads via Facebook, but that's definitely not for everyone. If in most people, certainly most people in the sort of digital marketing space know people in the digital marketing space, so you will. Honestly, our most consistent affiliates are people who just post cool stuff they've done with Convertri on their Facebook timeline a couple of times a week. Just keep talking about the cool stuff you've done with Convertri. Talk about, I was on the Convertri training webinar on Saturday. It was really cool. Andy showed up. He made a complete fool of himself. We all had a good laugh. It was great. Whatever, posting that and then post about a page you made in Convertri, post about like something interesting you're doing, and then with your affiliate link through to our site. And you will be surprised how many sales you will pick up just from that. Sometimes my mobile view is upside down, the top and bottom are switched. Hey, Peter, I've certainly never heard of that before. We would definitely have been working on that if we had. Can you send an example page and ideally like the devices it happens on? Stuff like that's usually quite device specific. can you send the details to support@convertri.com so we can dig into it and find out what's going on? Like, obviously it's a rare case. Like, that is not a common thing to have happening. So anyone else on the call, I wouldn't worry about it. But we care a lot about those things. Awesome, cool crowd today, guys. Lots of awesome questions. What else would you like to know? I'm here for another few minutes. I'll be finishing up on the hour at 4. But happy to hang around for a few more if you've got a couple more questions. Pat asks how my broadband speed is. My broadband speed is terrible today. However, on Tuesday, I am having a site visit from the fibre to the premises engineers who are going to tell me how much it's going to cost to run basically a cable direct from the internet to my house. I'm pretty sure it's not direct from the internet. The point is, it's a leased line with real bandwidth and real reliability, so we don't keep having these glitchy sessions, which is so tedious. I tried buying a 4G router from a company called Relish, which the bandwidth's a bit better, but the reliability's way worse. So although when it worked, it's better, it just wasn't anywhere near as reliable. So I'm back to the ADSL option. But as I say, on Tuesday, the engineer's coming out, and he's going to survey the place to tell me what it costs to get that cable in. And I can't wait. Oh, thank you, Peter. Peter says, Andy, thanks for your transparency, vision, and care for your customers. Oh, you're very welcome. This is my full-time thing, as you probably noticed. And I don't know, it's just I have a lot more fun knowing that people are actually using the software and getting real value out of it. That's kind of what makes it worthwhile to me. And these sessions are all part of that. My background's all kind of technology stuff. So certainly when I first started out, I was very, very technology driven, very product driven, not very experience driven. So I never used to do webinars like this. For one, I was too chicken shit. This stuff is hard. You make a lot of mistakes live. It's quite embarrassing. But I justified it as, people don't care about that. They just want the best product, and that's all that matters. And as time's gone on, I've come to realize that it's, you guys are buying the software. That's the tool. That's what lets you get stuff done. But it's not just about that. It's important to know that we're here to help you. There is an awesome support desk. There is, we run these training webinars. There's no extra charge for these. There's no I'm not getting anything out of this other than you guys use the software more, which is the whole point of this game. Hey, Vernon's asking about support for other browsers other than Chrome or on an iPad. We might. Oh, did you put that in your customer feedback form in Convertri the other day? I think I remember reading your feedback. I remember the name. I've got a weird memory for these details. Anyway, the answer is it's unlikely we'll bother supporting other browsers other than Chrome, just because we do make use of a load of cutting edge features that are only in Chrome. That's a big part of how we make our editor possible. And we could probably monkey patch it together to work in other browsers, but it would take so dang long to do. And all of those developer cycles could go into just making more better stuff. Honestly, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I'd have told you that give us 6 months and we'll have invested the vast amount of time necessary to make it run in all the browsers. But honestly, hardly anyone seems to care. And really, cross-browser compatibility for an app like Convertri would take so long. I just don't see it happening. And it's definitely never happening on an iPad. That's just not an option for us. Sorry. Hey, Darius asking about putting FB pixels into Convertri pages. Your best bet is, because you typically want the pixel on every single page. So under scripts here, you can just paste the code they give you into head or body and hit save, and then make sure you republish all the pages. It won't automatically add it. But yeah, so that's the easiest way, is just get it on every single page. And it's, if you want, you can do it per site, per funnel, like, or per individual page. But for something like an FB pixel, that's typically all you want. Cool. Glad you like the roadmap, Peter. It's I'm pretty excited about where we're going with it at the moment. There's a lot of pretty awesome stuff. And that's I was just talking about how I used to be a product and technology focused guy. I'm still a very product and technology focused guy. Yeah, that's part of the reason we're looking to hire a head of marketing, is we've got, I'm going to be a bit arrogant here, but who cares? Like, we've got really good at the like post-purchase section, like keeping existing customers happy, keeping just more better stuff going out the door. Like you guys have seen it every Tuesday. Like, that's what we're all about. But we're not so hot on getting more people in the door to start with. So having someone whose job it is to drive that forward every day is quite exciting to me, because I get up in the morning and my eyes open, and the first thought, other than, oh my God, I need caffeine, is like, how am I going to make the product better today? That's what I love. That's what gets me up in the morning. It's what I think about when I go to bed. It's just what I obsess over constantly. And that's fantastic. It makes for a really good product. But the best product doesn't necessarily win. The best marketing wins. So we need someone driving that advertising approach as well. Oh, thanks, Pat. Pat says Convertri is more than just a product. It's a great business and an awesome community, which is rare in our industry. Yeah, it is super rare. I think a few vendors are starting to get it. I like to think we're a bit of a trailblazer in this regard, that like since we started doing the Facebook group thing and these webinars and whatever, where like they're actual like training webinars, they're not like, it's a training webinar and by the way, we're going to sell you this thing. Like, don't get me wrong, at some point I'm totally going to sell you something on one of these. I will get better at marketing. But in the meantime, like the whole point of these is to just make the software better for you. And we're starting to see like some of the other vendors in our space go, oh, that's actually a really good idea. We need to up our game in this regard, particularly the ones that really get the recurring billing model. That, for people who sell like software for a one-time price, obviously we did that with Convertri very, very briefly, but that's not the long-term plan. That's not what keeps this business running day after day, month after month. We want you guys to keep using it. We want you to get way more value out of it every month than the small amount you pay us. We want it to be just an integral part of your business. And a big part of that is running these things to just share how to get more out of it. And hopefully more people follow suit, because it is cool. Nope, don't need Cloudflare with Convertri. Like you need something to point your domain name at Convertri. And if your domain's already with Cloudflare, like you may as well use them. They're as good as anything else. But if you don't have it, you don't need it. Like our content delivery network is better. Sorry, I should clarify. When I say our content delivery network is better, Cloudflare's content delivery network is that's all they do. So clearly, for a generic use case, Cloudflare is way better than we are. However, we're not a generic use case. We're Convertri. And our homegrown CDN is way better for what Convertri does than Cloudflare can be, because they have to care about all of these other possible things that somebody could want to do. And so they're not as good as we are for the one thing we do, which is load pages really, really quickly. So, our CDN, our everything is built with that in mind. We originally had a deal with a company called Fastly, who were, as their name suggests, their page speed did what we want, but we wanted to give everyone free SSL. And when we asked them what it would cost us, they told us $275 per domain per month. Now, I don't care how good or bad you are at maths. I think you can understand the problem there. So we were like, well, clearly we're not going to pay Fastly like $275 for every domain every one of our customers has. So we have to do this ourselves. And that's when we set about, we built our own CDN, we did the free SSL provisioning, so that is all with us. There's no need for something separate like Cloudflare. We do all of that stuff for you. Right, that's 4 o'clock and my throat's starting to go. So if you've got any last minute questions, please do ask. I'll hang around a few more minutes, but if not, we'll wrap up. Oh, just ignore, so sorry, Darius asking how to fix the Google page speed thing that says too many query strings after using Convertri. Just ignore that. That is, that's just how part of our CDN works. So in theory, when you use like a query string is an indicator of dynamic content, which is slower to load. In practice, we cache the shit out of everything, including the stuff that comes in via a query string. I could game that so it wouldn't show you that message anymore, but to do so would make our pages load slower. Now, we game Google Page Speed Insights in tons of ways to make it show that cool number, as well as like making our pages fast, but we refuse to do the stuff that will actually make your pages slower. So I can explain it in very complicated technical details if you want. Hopefully you can just take my word for it, but please just ignore that one. That is just a load of rubbish. They are wrong. Oh, thanks, George. George says your webinars are very helpful and retain customers and even get more recurring customers. Yeah, I hope so. That's certainly the goal of all of this stuff. And as you know, the whole goal here is we want you guys to use the software. We want you guys to love the software. But based on the feedback we get constantly, like that is true. And a big part of that is making ourselves available as a team, like hanging out in the Facebook group, running these sessions. So I encourage you, like, keep coming along, keep asking cool questions. We'll keep answering them. Cheers, Roy. Thank you very much. Cheers, Paul. Thank you. Mike, yep, absolutely. It's recording now. I'll do the conversion after this call, and it'll be live here on help.convertri.com in the Q&A webinar section from probably about Tuesday. I will, now that I've said that, I'm sure there'll be some technical glitch and it'll take a bit longer, but the point is it will be up very soon when it happens. We'll send out an email to the list. You'll probably see it in the Facebook group. And if you just want to ignore all of that stuff, you can just power refresh this page and it'll be up there soon enough. Cheers, Darius. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mike. Have a great weekend too, Pat. Thank you. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I say this every time we do one of these, but I am super humbled that like so many people give up their precious weekend time to come and listen to me talk about the software that I spend my life doing. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for coming out to the webinar and asking such cool questions. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you soon. Cheers.